What really happened 900 years ago during the Void Century? And why is the world of One Piece literally sinking right now? Because if we don't understand the Void Century, we don't just miss a cool piece of lore, we lose the key to almost every mystery in the story. No world government to defeat, no One Piece to reach, no dawn of the world to bring back. And now that Vegapunk has revealed that the sea levels are rising, we have to ask a terrifying question. Is the flood we're seeing right now just a repeat of what happened 900 years ago? In this video, we're going to connect the Mother Flame, Enies Lobby's impossible hole, the ancient weapons, Zunisha, the Red Line, and even the Sunlight Tree Eve into one giant picture. By the end, you'll never look at Enies Lobby, Impel Down, or the Void Century the same way again. So if you love deep One Piece theory, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more cinematic breakdowns, and let's dive straight into the flood that almost destroyed the world. First, let's talk about the moment the flood truly began in the story we're reading now. When Imu fired the Mother Flame at Lulusia, it didn't just blow an island off the map. Vegapunk later confirms that this attack punched a literal hole in the sea and raised sea level around the world by 1 meter. 1 meter globally is insane. Entire coastal towns are underwater, ports are ruined, and millions of people are already suffering without even knowing the real cause. The Great Cleansing isn't a metaphor anymore, it's a live disaster. Now, rewind to the Reverie and Cobra reading Nefertari Lily's letter. Imu's roar blocks part of the message, and what gets censored is crucial. The full line seems to be, "Bear the flag of the dawn against the sinking world." That is not poetic flowery language. That is Lily literally warning the future about a world that is physically sinking into the ocean. And the fact that Oda even toned it down slightly in the volume version makes it feel like he is actively hiding the full implication for the endgame. But here's the problem. Lulusia isn't the first time we've seen this kind of destruction. Enies Lobby has had a bottomless hole in the middle of the ocean for decades. The water falls forever. There is no visible sea beneath it. And the island above it is in eternal sunlight. The sky above Enies Lobby never becomes night. On the surface, that just felt like classical One Piece weirdness. Now, it feels like an earlier version of what the Mother Flame did to Lulusia. But Vegapunk only created the Mother Flame recently, and York admits she sent it directly from Egghead. That means the hole at Enies Lobby has to come from an older weapon, something from the Void Century, or at least from many decades ago. Something so powerful that it could erase a chunk of the sea and turn an island into a place of artificial eternal day. A lot of people think this is Uranus, the sky-based ancient weapon we still know almost nothing about. But there's another angle that fits Enies Lobby even better. During the Enies Lobby arc, the world government was desperately hunting for Pluton's blueprints. Tom explains that those plans are not just meant to reproduce Pluton. They are also meant to create a counter-weapon, a way to destroy Pluton if it ever falls into the wrong hands. In other words, an anti-Pluton. Now put that together with Enies Lobby. We have an island built directly over a massive scar in the sea, and a story arc about a government trying to steal plans for a Pluton counter-weapon. It makes almost too much sense to think that the hole we see there is the remains of an ancient anti-Pluton shot. And that brings us straight to Vegapunk and Franky. If the world government had ever successfully retrieved those blueprints in the past, they would have gone straight to the smartest man on the planet. Franky burning the plans doesn't just stop a random battleship from existing. It forces Vegapunk to recreate the concept with incomplete information. The result is the Mother Flame, a terrifying power source, easily weaponized, but still inferior to whatever fueled the ancient anti-Pluton and the Iron Giant. It can erase an island and raise sea level, but it cannot create a permanent miniature sun, like the core that keeps Enies Lobby in endless daylight. And that is exactly why Franky is set up to surpass Vegapunk in the story. Given the ability to replicate a world-ending weapon, Franky chose to destroy that knowledge instead of trusting any government with it. So, what actually happened 900 years ago? Imagine an advanced kingdom whose technology makes even Vegapunk look second-rate. They have power sources that create suns, robot giants that move on their own, ships that travel under the sea, and weapons that can counter their own ancient superweapons. Then, imagine 20 kings who decide they want that power for themselves. They have enormous wealth, obedient citizens, and no moral restraint. They steal, bribe, and manipulate their way into controlling a weapon like anti-Pluton. And one day, they fire it at the ancient kingdom's heart. Enies Lobby's hole may be the scar of that first shot. Impel Down, sitting beneath the waves like a drowned castle, might be one of the ancient kingdom's old fortresses, repurposed as a prison by the victors. Marineford may have been built later on top of that same region, turning the graves of the ancient kingdom into the modern headquarters of justice. The three government strongholds suddenly look less like random placements and more like a ring erected over a graveyard. But flooding one region, or even one capital, is not enough to erase a civilization. The world government needed something bigger. They needed a way to change the entire planet. This is where the pole shift idea comes in. In Skypiea, the ancient map of Jaya has its north-south axis rotated 90 degrees compared to the modern map. You can wave that away as the island spinning, or you can treat it as a quiet hint that the entire planet's magnetic orientation changed once. If the axis really shifted, tides, storms, and flooding on a global scale would be inevitable. Now picture the 20 kings with stolen ancient technology in their hands. They already used one superweapon to annihilate the ancient capital. The next step is to tilt the planet, melt the ice caps, and raise the oceans permanently. The red line becomes a giant stone dam around the world. Fishman Island is the one hole in that dam, and Reverse Mountain is the valve. Close the gap, twist the planet, melt the poles, and the world drowns for good. So why didn't the ancient kingdom just stop this? Why did these insanely advanced people lose? The answer might be that their own creations were turned against them. Think about Zunisha, a living, island-sized elephant, sentenced to walk the seas for 800 years as punishment for a mysterious great crime. Think about Funkfried, a sword with an elephant zone fruit. Think about objects gaining life through devil fruits and acting as both tool and weapon. Now combine those ideas. What if the anti-Pluton that made Enies Lobby's hole wasn't just a cannon or a satellite? What if it was a construct that then ate a mythical elephant fruit? What if the anti-Pluton and Zunisha are the same being? A living weapon forged to counter Pluton, hijacked by the 20 kings, and forced to annihilate the ancient capital. That would be a crime on the level that justifies an eternal sentence. Walk until a new Joy Boy arrives. Walk until the day you can make things right. And that is exactly what we see lining up now. Momonosuke can hear Zunisha's voice. He can command it. The weapon that once destroyed might now be used to free Pluton from Wano, shatter the Great Walls, and rescue the world instead of drowning it. Zunisha's trunk might not just be a physical battering ram. It may still contain whatever ancient energy made the hole at Enies Lobby in the first place. Meanwhile, the ancient kingdom clearly tried to leave behind lifelines for the future. Poseidon is hidden in Fishman Island, with the Ark Noah waiting to be pulled. Pluton is sealed beneath Wano, in a land that literally flooded itself with fresh water to keep its people safe. Uranus is most likely linked to the sky and Elbaf, a weapon that manipulates the weather and the very heavens. Together, they are not just superweapons, but escape routes, arcs, tunnels, and skyborne sanctuaries. Add to that the sunlight tree Eve. Its roots carry light all the way down to the deepest parts of the sea. If devil fruit users drown in a dark, flooded world, their powers still need somewhere to reincarnate. The one beacon in that darkness is Eve, which could quietly attract every devil fruit soul back toward the red line. A global flood might be the perfect way for the rulers of the world to harvest every ability for themselves. That's the true horror of the Great Cleansing. It's not just population control or genocide. It's a reset button for the distribution of power. Kill the users, take the fruits, control the next generation of abilities. But this time, the script is different. The people who carry the will of the ancient kingdom aren't scattered and alone. Nico Robin can read the poneglyphs. The Straw Hats have already allied with Fishman Island, the Samurai of Wano, and soon the Giants of Elbath. Vegapunk has broadcast the truth to the entire world. Dragon and the Revolutionary Army are actively breaking supply chains, freeing countries, and weakening the world government's grip. The same tools the 20 Kings used in the Void Century are now blowing up in their faces. And at the center of all of it is Luffy, the man the world keeps painting as a demon and a threat. The man whose fruit is literally tied to Joy Boy and the Sun God. The man whose greatest power isn't his punches, but his ability to gather allies. In the first flood, Joy Boy failed to save everyone. In the second flood, Luffy might be the one person who can. So when we ask what really happened 900 years ago, the answer is bigger than just a kingdom lost a war. An advanced civilization created miracles, tried to share them, and got wiped out by 20 kings who weaponized those miracles against them. The world was tilted, the seas were raised, the capital was sunk, and the survivors carved their story into indestructible stone. Now those stones are finally being read. The flood is starting again. And this time, the world might be ready. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the Void Century and the coming flood, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and tell me in the comments what you think the Ancient Kingdom's greatest secret really was. Was it the artificial sun? The interplanetary alliance? Or something even crazier hiding at the bottom of the sea? Either way, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.